Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Carla Calabrese, and we are talking today the second installment of our series on emotionally intelligent lawyering and emotionally intelligent divorce. One thing I want to say about divorce, and I've said this, I've been practicing for quite a while, and I've said this almost, it comes out of my mouth so easily. Divorce is not just a legal process. In fact, I usually say divorce has three components, right? It has the legal component, because unfortunately, in some ways, marriage is a legal construction and legal institution. It has the financial side of things, the property side of things, and it also has, most importantly, the emotional side. And in my experience, divorce is almost 80% emotional. If I'm, after looking at all these years, what drove my practice, what drives cases, unregulated emotions like grief and fear and anger, anxiety. I mean, if you've been through divorce yourself, you know what I'm talking about. If you've had a good friend who's been through it, if you are going through it now, you know exactly, if you're looking for a lawyer, how it feels when you first heard that your spouse wanted a divorce, or even if you started contemplating yourself that you want the divorce. Even if you want the divorce, there's a lot of fear, anger, anxiety that this marriage did not work. So divorce is highly emotional. We're talking about emotionally intelligent divorce and emotionally intelligent lawyering because we have a belief system in my firm that if your lawyer has a high EQ, not just a high IQ, but a high EQ, your process, experience, and your outcome is going to be better because of the way that a highly emotionally intelligent person who practices law, a lawyer, can help regulate emotions. Because as I said, I really believe that emotions are what drive the length of time, the cost, and the poor outcomes. So what we want to talk about today is how do you put emotional intelligence into practice in family law? And one of the ways that we do this in our firm and also, of course, in the community is the practice known as collaborative divorce. So if you haven't heard about it, it's a process that it's driven on emotional intelligence. The best outcomes in that process are with lawyers who have high EQs. And it's a process that basically says we are going to not use the courthouse. Instead, we are going to make a contract with the two spouses that says we're not going to use the courthouse. We're going to instead hire collaboratively trained lawyers who will have a lot of emotional intelligence, hopefully, and that we will also hire two other people in the process, in most cases, a neutral financial professional and a neutral mental health professional. And those individuals will comprise a team of professionals to help us get through the divorce. And the process is based on interest-based negotiation. It's based on finding compromise between the parties that serves both of them. And that's especially helpful when you have children. And it is a private process. You are not going to the courthouse. That's one of the things I think people really like about it is that when, nobody really wants to air their dirty laundry at the courthouse. It's expensive. It's very stressful. And so we take a process and say, okay, we're going to contract out of the courthouse. We're going to stay in in some ways, like a business deal. Not that divorcing is all about business, but we're going to try to sit around the table together with our lawyers and our team and with an agenda and go through the process of making decisions about how we're going to finalize our divorce. So in collaborative divorce, it's really important that your lawyer is somebody who gets the idea that you need somebody not just who's smart and been to law school and can read the law, somebody who can manage your emotions and manage the team. And because it's going to be a difficult process. Divorce has a lot of challenges to it. Dividing a pie between two people. You're trying to share children, which is really almost in many ways an inconceivable concept, but that's what it is. And so having lawyers that are highly emotionally intelligent who do collaborative practice is probably, in my opinion, probably the cream of the crop in terms of the type of process you could get involved in. So be sure when you're talking to your lawyer, they talk about collaborative divorce. And if you can ask them, about how they feel about their emotional intelligence, that's all the better.